What is up, Gundam Meisters and Innovators? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we're continuing our coverage of Mobile Suit Gundam 00F. Last time, Fawn was in a coma while the UN received the new Jinx mobile suit. He woke up and watched the destruction of celestial being. Hixar and Hyana infiltrated their ship and stole the Gundam Suit right as Fawn made his appearance. In this episode, Hyana will send Hanayo to the cloud, Fawn will bail on the Foreste team, and Hixar will end up becoming an ally. So let's get into this. We flash back to an earlier time where Hyana is doing a tarot reading to help Veda better understand humans. She pulls the Emperor, which is Ribbons. Death is Celestial Being, and the star is Gundam Sadalsu Type F. And finally, Justice is Estrella. Back in the present, Fawn and Hixar face off. Chall wonders if it could be that Meister. She thought he was dead. Hanayo says that they shouldn't use the Abu'l without the tail section. Fawn says okay, he transforms and shoots Hixar at point blank range, but it doesn't do any damage to the unit. Sherilyn notes that they just installed a reinforced GN field. The Sadalsu makes a swift escape. Fawn says, they got away. Oh well, we still have one solar furnace. It's not like we need two. Poor Echo. Hanayo knows who they are, but she refuses to tell Echo and the team, as it goes against Veda's orders. Fawn will head out after them. Hanayo and Sherilyn are in the hangar looking over the Estrella F2, saying if Fawn had this earlier, they would still have both solar furnaces. The GNY-00F2 Gundam Estrella Type F2 is the upgraded version of the Estrella Type F. After the final battle from the Ptolemaeus team, Foreste gathered up all the damaged parts from the battle. Sherilyn then took many of the parts from Exia to create this upgraded unit. As a second-gen Gundam, many of its parts are 15 years old and vastly needs improvement. We will see a new feature called GN Reflection, which is used with the Transam system. It allows the unit to deflect beam weapons from close range. Other weapons include the GN Beam Rifle, the GN Beam Saber, the Proto-GN Sword, the GN Launcher, and the GN Shield. This also has the Sensor Mask. That is when Hyana walks back in. They think that she is here to steal the last remaining solar furnace, but she goes over to Hanayo, picks her up, and tears her Hado body apart. Her hologram projection disappears. Fawn goes to the HRL orbital elevator to find Hixar waiting at the spaceport. Hyana thinks about the Estrella as well, but she decides not to as Hixar is in the dark about what she is doing. Chall walks in pointing a gun at her and asks her if her comrade is Hixar Fermi. Hyana realizes that she is a second-generation Meister and reminds Chall that she got her entire team killed. Echo tries to help but fails horribly. She says that terrorism is about to take place in HRL. The HRL orbital elevator is home to the greatest surveillance network for the world. They currently notice something suspicious in the area. As Fawn talks to Hixar, security approaches them. They scan the two to find that they have no identities. That is all the confirmation Fawn needed to know that Hixar is indeed a celestial being, as celestial beings don't exist on paper at least. The two laugh, but Fawn instantly runs toward a group of suited men and chokes one out. He yells, "I got you, you terrorist son of a bitch." Hixar is impressed he figured it out, but it is too late. An explosion goes off. Back at the ship, Sherilyn is fixing Hanayo. She isn't merely a digital entity. Veda probably has a backup, but they don't have access to it. They just need to repair the storage essentially. Even Ian Vashti is at a loss, but Sherilyn is going to give it all she's got. Hanayo is currently some digital essence living within Veda. Being here means that Veda has a backup of her. She seems to be connected to everything at the moment and notices Sherilyn attempting to hack Veda. She knows that this is an impossibility, but she can't communicate without a terminal. She notices that Fawn is in trouble. Suddenly, she gets a connection. Sherilyn is able to get her hard drive up and running. She thanks Sherilyn but warns her that Fawn needs their help. Hixar refers to Fawn by his real name, Roback Stad Jr., and scoffs at the idea of a former terrorist who hates indiscriminate terror. He walks out of the hole and falls to the ground. Suddenly, a GN field consumes him and it takes off. Fawn says that it was the Sadalsu using a mass-reducing effect of extra small GN fields with particles. Sure, why not? Let's go with that. Sometimes you just gotta go with things and bro science over the details. Fawn finds Hixar to be fun. Mobile suits begin engaging with him. Tieran anti-aircraft cannon types are shooting from the ground. The MSJ-062AC Tieran anti-aircraft cannon type is a variant of the Tieran ground type. Before the time of the Gundam, the Union and the AEU focused more on aerial units. while the HRL focused on ground types, like the anti-aircraft cannon type. These units were created to mainly defend the orbital elevator. It has a quadruple 155mm by 50 caliber rapid-fire anti-air cannon on its head and 4 4-tube anti-air missile launchers. Other weapons include a 60mm Vulcan gun, a 30mm machine gun, and a shield. Hayana is talking to Hixar, but he isn't listening. He heads back to the tower and fires missiles towards Fawn before heading underwater. Fawn, being the psychopath that he is, laughs at the explosion while taking some heavy damage. During Fawn and Hixar's conversation, he says that his goal is to observe, decide, and act. Outside of the explosion, Hixar was just supposed to observe, but Fawn was able to get him to act. Hayana has a dream about penetrating herself. You heard what I said. She wakes up and realizes that Hanayo is still alive inside of Veda and wants to complete her job. Hixar comes to check on her. He tells her that she now has a purpose in life. He says that he is envious, as living a life for Veda will always feel like a never-ending job. But with purpose, one can truly be free. Hixar still has Fawn on his mind. The next day, the two head to Midwestern Africa. Hayana is struggling to handle the heat. They stand out like a sore thumb to the locals. As they walk through the city, they run into Fawn once again. The AEU's elevator is in Africa. After they disbanded and joined the UN with the rest of the world, the area around the elevator became rife with poverty and terrorism. There is an anti-UN movement at large, even though they have been trying to provide food to the people. Fawn begins eating the saddest-looking piece of corn, but he'd rather eat that than the processed food the UN provides to the people. Hayana wonders why these people need saving. Even Veda thinks there is nothing they could do here. Fawn reminds him that Veda isn't an absolute. Hixar says if he goes against Veda, then the Ptolemaeus team, if they are still alive, will most likely come for him. But Fawn doesn't seem to care. Sherilyn passes out working hard on Hanayo. Chall tells her that they will get her back to normal. She wonders if Hanayo remembers Hixar. She didn't think that he was still alive and thinks back to her old team. While UN forces are fighting against Hixar, he begins to wonder about his purpose as they were dragged into anti-UN fighting. Fawn has surpassed Veda's expectations and starts to have self-doubt. As Jinxes attack Hixar, Fawn and Estrella come in to save him. He thinks that Fawn saving him means that perhaps he does have a purpose, but Fawn claims to not care. However, he does say that he should be able to find purpose with that mobile suit, and he takes off. AD 2309. Anar Ugai, a self-proclaimed journalist, gets himself a photo of a Gundam. He is certain that it is a version of Exia that he's seen a few years ago, but it is in fact Estrella. He knows this will shake up the world and wonders who he could sell it to. Hixar watches Anar as he makes his moves. He tries to sell it to a PMC, but they aren't interested in dealing with the heat and suggests that the best thing that he could do is give it away to the UN for free. But he is too greedy. Hixar gives Hayana a mission to watch over Anar. If he goes to the UN, things might get bad for them, and the world will know of the existence of Gundams once again. Hixar wonders if Veda is testing the world to see what the reaction is. He admits that he is quite curious as well. Fawn says even though the fighting seems to be dying down, he will always continue to fight as long as he lives. Chall says the Ptolemaeus team will most likely come for you, but again, he doesn't seem concerned. Anar is found out by the UN, and they want him to hand over the information regarding the Gundam. As Fawn goes out in the Gundam, Chall doesn't seem to know what is the right thing to do. Is Fawn doing what's in Veda's plan, or is he going against Celestial Being? One man in a suit looks out in the rain as he muses about the necessity of keeping the Gundams a secret right now. He says his higher-ups want to keep this a secret, but he doesn't even know who his higher-ups are. It happens to be Ribbons Almark. Chall decides that she will continue to fulfill her duty, even if that means that she will have to treat Fawn as an enemy. Fawn meets up with an anti-UN group and they begin an operation. In 2290, the solar power wars are in full effect. We see a young Fawn with Ali al-Sichez. In the present, Fawn is fighting with the anti-UN army to force the people from above to take action. They wonder if Fawn is just using them for his own purpose, and he goes, yeah, of course. They want to end their agreement with Fawn, but they will need him for the upcoming mission. They plan on attacking an African base that is now being used as a missile storage facility. Chall gets the Fereshte team together. She now wants to find the Ptolemaeus team and help them out. They will from now on treat Fawn as a traitor as well. Since they don't have Fawn, Chall thinks that they could use Hixar to help them. They used to work together back in the day, and he is on the same level as Fawn. Hanayo can contact Hayana, but they are concerned they will try to kill her again. They have to try, however. The anti-UN team engages in battle, but they notice Jinxes are joining as well. However, these are new. These are the Jinx 2. The GNX-607T GN-XII is the successor to the Jinx and technically retrofits of the original Jinx units. It also incorporates the data from the advanced Jinx, and it has hardpoints to mount add-ons. This unit also miniaturizes the generators. The GN-XII is a base for variants to be developed, such as the GN-XII cannon and the GN-XII sword. Weapons include a GN beam rifle, a GN shield, a GN beam saber, and a pair of GN claws. Fawn is excited. Meanwhile, Chall welcomes Hixar to the Foreste team. And that will do it for this episode. Season 2 of 00 skips directly to the GN-XIII, so we get to see what happened in between. Turns out not too much, but the hard points on the unit will go on to influence the GN-XIII. Next time, the battle will continue, and Fawn will also engage in battle with the GN-XII sword. Hayana will try to kill Hanaya once again, and another anti-UN terrorist group joins the fight, who will also play a bigger role in Season 2. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, Chall's confused face and sexy face is the same, and I don't think the mangaka knows the difference between the two. She's supposed to be concerned right now. Why are you drawing her in a sexual manner? Peace.